There's one thing I so deeply wish I had understood years ago. If you really let this sink in, it can save you from so much unnecessary confusion, frustration, and searching in all the wrong places. Whatever you are chasing right now, success, love, recognition, peace, clarity, it's not random, it's not accidental, it's revealing something powerful, it's showing you what you believe is missing, it's pointing to what you feel is lacking, what seems incomplete, what you think needs to be fixed before you can finally exhale and say, "Now I'm okay." For a while, the search feels exciting, hopeful. You might reach a goal and feel that rush, that lightness, that temporary sense of freedom or happiness. And for a moment, it seems like you've found it, but then, it fades. The achievement becomes normal, the relationship feels uncertain again, the peace dissolves, and you're left staring at that quiet space inside, that familiar sense of something still missing. I know this because I lived it. I fell into that trap completely. What I didn't see at the time was this: every single thing I was seeking ultimately boiled down to the same core desires: freedom, happiness, peace. Different forms, same essence. I thought they were out there, waiting to be earned, unlocked, or discovered. But here's the shift that changes everything: what you are looking for is not separate from you. It's not somewhere in the future. It's not hiding behind the next milestone, and it's not something you have to become. Even the idea that you need to become a better version of yourself can quietly turn into another strategy of chasing, another subtle way of saying, "I'm not enough yet." I truly believed that once I fixed myself, achieved more, understood more, healed more, then I would finally feel whole. But that belief itself was the very thing keeping me in the loop. What if nothing is missing? What if the search itself is built on a misunderstanding? Just consider that gently, not as something to force yourself to believe, but as something to explore. Because the moment you begin to question the assumption that you are incomplete, something softens, the endless striving loosens its grip, and instead of running toward peace, you start noticing it has been quietly here all along. And that realization, it's not dramatic, it's not flashy, but it's deeply freeing. I learned this the hard way. And what I began to see is that for many of us, the spiritual path we are walking today is not so different from consumerism or materialism. It just looks more elevated on the surface. It is still outsourcing. Still projecting outward, still placing hope somewhere on the horizon. We tell ourselves that when we reach that next level of awareness, that next breakthrough, that next state of being, something essential will finally click into place. But very often, that movement is not true freedom. It is escape, it is coping, it is a refined and socially acceptable way of trying to outrun the quiet sense of lack within us. Here is what changed everything for me. Your true self, your divinity, is not realized by rejecting your humanity, it is realized through it. That greater aspect of you wants to be you. You would not be here, in this exact life, with these exact experiences, if it were not meaningful. If it were not the most direct path available to you. The path of least resistance toward remembering who you truly are. Nothing about your life is a detour. And yet we have been programmed with layer upon layer of beliefs, through our experiences, through trauma, through trials and heartbreak and disappointment, we each developed our own unique way of coping. Our own strategy for surviving. We learned how to suppress certain emotions, how to repress certain memories, how to push down energies and thoughts that felt too overwhelming to face. So we numb ourselves in sophisticated ways, sometimes with possessions and achievements, sometimes with identities we try to embody, sometimes even with elevated spiritual states we strive to attain. We tell ourselves that once we have healed enough, accomplished enough, awakened enough, then we will finally be free. But here is the honest question. After you get everything you think you want, after the awakening, after the realizations, after the insights, what remains? You remain. And if the belief that something is missing has not been gently examined, it will still be there, quietly shaping your experience. That is why this is not about becoming something higher, it is about allowing yourself to fully be what you already are. Not bypassing your humanity, but meeting it, not escaping your emotions, but feeling them, not transcending your life, but inhabiting it. Because the doorway to what you are seeking has never been somewhere else. It has always been here, in the very heart of your lived experience. Even if you were to receive everything you have ever dreamed of, every vision fulfilled, every desire manifested, you would still come face to face with yourself, with the reality of what you are in this moment, with everything you have gathered along the way, every belief, every wound, every identity you are still holding on to. Nothing external erases that. This is why allowing what you are is the true gateway, not improving it. Not polishing it, not transcending it, allowing it. At some point on your path, you will recognize the truth of what I am saying right now. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but there will come a moment when you clearly see that the only real interference between you and the freedom you long for is resistance. Resistance to your present experience, denial of what is here, suppression of what you genuinely feel. That is the veil, that is the tension, that is the weight. Underneath all the striving, all the coping mechanisms, all the strategies to fix or escape your current state, there is simply a reluctance to fully be with what is already happening inside you. And I truly understand, it is tricky, it is confusing, the mind is incredibly convincing. It tells you that if you just adjust one more thing, heal one more layer, reach one more level, then you will finally arrive. But what if arrival is not ahead of you? What if it is hidden inside your willingness to stop fighting yourself? The freedom you are seeking is not blocked by your flaws, it is not withheld because you are imperfect, it is obscured only by the habit of turning away from your own direct experience. The moment you begin to gently turn toward yourself instead of away, something shifts. Not because you became better, but because you stopped resisting being human, and that is not weakness, that is courage. It may feel subtle at first, almost too simple, but the deepest truths often are. We often believe there is a trick, a hidden key, a secret doorway that will finally lift us beyond all of this. Beyond the discomfort, the confusion, the heaviness of being human, but here is the quiet paradox. The real you, the aspect of you that is already beyond all of it, does not actually want to escape it, it does not want to skip ahead, it wants to be fully here, in the middle of it, in the texture and intensity and rawness of this life. That is why you are here, not to rise above your humanity, but to inhabit it completely. Your humanity is not an obstacle to your divinity, it is the gateway to it, it is the doorway to the freedom you have been searching for. And this is where courage enters the picture, the courage to face what is, the courage to face who you are, the courage to feel what you are experiencing without turning away, without resistance, without suppression, without abandoning yourself in the process. When you stop fighting your experience, when you stop trying to edit yourself into something more acceptable or more spiritual or more evolved, something profound begins to unfold. You start to allow, you allow yourself to be exactly as you are in this moment, you allow your emotions to move, you allow your thoughts to arise and pass, you allow your life to be what it is without demanding that it look different before you grant yourself peace. And in that allowing, everything that you truly are begins to come into view, not because you forced it, not because you earned it, not because you mastered some secret technique, but because you stopped resisting. There is nothing you need to add to yourself, nothing you need to strip away, nothing you need to become, just this gentle, radical acceptance of yourself and your present experience as it is. There is no freedom greater than that. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below. And if you'd like to go deeper, make sure to check out the other videos on the channel. There's more waiting for you there. Also, if you feel called to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the video description. No pressure at all. Your presence here already means a lot.